Situated along one of the busiest routes leading into Manchester, it is hard to believe that the charge of horses can be heard in the dead of night, with no signs of the beasts to be found. Is it too far-fetched that a 19th century serving girl is still lingering as she goes about her chores? And what about the full apparition that is seen regularly sitting, awaiting service at a favourite table? With a photograph dating back to 1899 proudly displayed within the entrance, it is all too clear that this property holds unique and aged mysteries within its walls. Will we be able to account for all of the ghostly goings-on here at the Wagon and Horses? Maybe, if we are lucky, we'll be granted an audience with the lady who sits at table 2. Or maybe we will find out who is keeping fellow guests awake with their heavy and incessant pacing around room 6. Stay tuned as we extinguish the lights and go in search of those who reside behind the veil of the living. Wary of opening up his home and business to all paranormal teams, the landlord has made the conscious decision to secure Stoke Haunted and their knowledge as his resident team. With open access to all areas, our new residency opens up infinite possibilities.
Hello and welcome to tonight's investigation with the Stoke Haunted team here at this exclusive venue, the Wagon and Horses in Congleton. We are the first paranormal team to be allowed into the venue to investigate supposed paranormal activity that is rife. The building predates the 1899 and the cottage that I'm standing by here, which is the accommodation side of the building, is obviously earlier than that.
Thank you for having the Stoke Haunted team in the pub, which is the Wagon and Horses. Would you like to introduce yourself to anybody that might be watching?
Well, I'm Stuart, I'm the landlord from the Wagon and Horses, and I've run this pub for about 7.5 years now.
Have you only been here for 7.5 years, or have you known the area and the pub before?
I've been a customer in the pub for about the last 35 years or so, moved into the area when I was 16.
Do you know any of the history or anything of historical value that might benefit the team?
It was an old coaching house, and obviously when the photographs on the wall, the old photographs are still on the internet. And I can remember it being converted 15 years ago from the stables to what it is now, the old 6-letting room.
So it was pretty recent then, that it was
Yeah.
kind of waiting for the right thing to tip you right over to the front.
Completely, yeah, completely. It's still got an open mind, and I think we'd call it an agnostic.
What do you think would get you to be a full believer?
I've seen in the building, what I suspect was, an image of some sort. A friend of mine the other night saw exactly the same. Other people have described it, so I'm probably more of a believer than not. And
Okay.
it should allow me to come.
How much of it is common knowledge to the people that come in as regular drinkers, or how much is the story kind of rolled?
Well, it's not. I mean, my wife, she probably told a few tales and this, that and the other, but you can tell they're really seriously interested people. And then they quite often come out with experience. Again, tonight I was discussing what he was doing here with somebody, and he told me a story in Swindon Park, not far from here. I discussed with one of your colleagues tonight, a full-blown infant, what is it like a human being? So if I saw that, I'd be 100% convinced. At the moment, is it a shadow or?
It's one of those things where you're constantly going to be wondering, isn't it?
Yeah.
I believe that some of your staff have adopted one particular energy, and they've affectionately nicknamed her. Can you tell me anything about that?
Lizzie, well, we kept getting strange things happening. Not long after we moved here, we moved in the May of 2006, and you see glasses fall off, you think, oh, we put them on badly, and there's one particular girl, Charlotte, and when she came on shift, it went ballistic. Not just fall off, they'd fly across from the top shelf down into the bar area. So, and it got so bad that Charlotte left. It was so active, it was unreal.
Whether first-hand experience or a story that you hold, what story related to the paranormal in this building is most significant to you?
The most recent one is only this week. It's earlier. October seems to be a month of most activity, and the till started acting up. and we thought it was just electronic. We had electronic problems in the past, you know, unexplained. We could actually see the till, the numbers being pressed on the till, actually, and the till would be pipping, doing all sorts. And this has been going on for a few weeks, and this week I sat with a colleague in the bar speaking at the till. I wish that till was shut up, and just then the door of the till drawer opened wide.
Wow. If you were to choose one specific area that the team focus on tonight, where would you like us to?
The whole pub. I can't say this one. The experience that I've seen a shadow, and it was early evening, 6:30. I'd come home from my other job, and I had some things, and we went into the bottle store. And quite often our girls are loading your washing machine, and I'll show you later the table there with stuff on, and I could see, I thought one of the girls bent over loading the washing. So I put myself and turned around to say hi, and just then this black shadow went across the wall and went out through the cellar where, you know, it was amazing. A few weeks ago, me and the couple was having a late drink, but it's alright, we're friends, so he's allowed to stay as long as he wants. And we're talking, just stopped in mid-flow. So, you won't believe this. You won't believe this, and I will. Go on, tell me. He said, I won't believe it. I said, no. It looked like you'd just seen a ghost. And he saw it go across the fireplace, its shadow.
The fireplace in the adjoining
Fireplace,
room?
yeah. My wife and a friend was staying hours away, and they were sat down in the pub one night, and possibly it was summertime, I can't remember. And it was early hours in the morning, there was chit-chat, and all of a sudden the room went sort of funny and electric. And they never saw anything, but they couldn't wait to get upstairs.
The final thing is, your premises, we've recently come to an agreement where Stoke Haunted are now your resident team.
That's correct. Good evening, and welcome to the Wagon and Horses.
Okay, thank you very much.
Right, we're recording. Is this one recording? Right, that's recording. Claire's is recording. We've got the boom on. Okay, Katie's here. So, what is that? I've got the blazer grid and we'll use that in a little bit. Okay. Let's do some going out then. Whoever wants to start, feel free.
Is there anybody here in this room with us? Any spirits? Any people who've come here tonight to talk to you? To try and communicate with you? Would you like to step forward? Don't be afraid of us. If there is anybody here that can hear my voice, can you make a sound, bang or a knock, or move something in the room? Oh, what does this come up with? There's no one careful. Gotcha, guys.
Yeah, there you go.
That's on your side. It's okay. There is anybody here, any spirit people? Anybody that lived here or worked here? If you were still here, make a sound please, so that we know you're there.
A few doffers and
Come on. Can you make a sound, make a bang on the wall? Tap something. Can you throw something in the room? Just to get our attention. Spend your life here.
like a dual tap then.
Just back in there.
Yeah. If that was you, can you do that again for me? That was a click here with my head. Yeah.
The tally's there.
Could have been
Yeah.
the tally, because tally's on standby.
It's probably the tally.
Can we have a definite sound from you, please? A loud bang or a tap, please? We're a bit unsure. Can you make it a definite sound?
Obviously not loud, but
I'll let you know if anything happens.
I don't know where the light switch is.
No, it's alright, I can see there's enough light in there to go.
so if we're flush in a minute, we know.
Can you scream? I'm not.
Yeah, if there's somebody in the shower, you see a shadow.
Yeah.
I'll take
Scream.
I'll screech.
Yeah.
That scratching noise was very weird, wasn't it?
That was very weird, that was, because I thought it just sounded like somebody scratching the leg.
Yeah, I thought it, honestly, I know it wasn't, but I thought it was Hazel, because that's where it sounded come from, you know what I mean?
So that was very good. If it's picked that up, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
But, you know, I owned that, and I'm perfectly happy to take a seat, back seat, and let the other mediums in the team, because they obviously are quite happy doing it.
Yeah,
So I'm quite happy to just take a seat. If I pick something up, I'll pick it up.
yeah.
And I'll say it. If not, then
Hi, I'm Amy and we're here at the Wagon and Horses, and it's nearing 1:30, and we've come into the dining room and we have a very kind of dark feeling in a certain corner, and we've interviewed the landlord and he's told us about certain things that have been going on, so we're going to check out room 6. I think we're going to lock in camera in the dining room, and I just generally feel like it's a bit more. I think we're going to get some activity here. I think there's some things that are following us. There's some spirits. I can't quite tell you much from that kind of side, but I do kind of feel it's a bit. Something's watching me. Something's on our back, and something's definitely there. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that if we set some little traps up for it, it'll set them off for us. So keep watching.
That was a definite thought.
That was a slow time. Did anybody else see that?
Not sure where it was. Sorry if I break your...
Okay, thank you. Right, bye.
okay, if that's you and you're still within the.
A flash go across that front of that. Like a streak of light go across the front of them doors.
If that was you and you're in the room and you can see the lights that are being shone on the wall, if you want to move towards them and make the lights move, that would also show us that you're here.
That's me. Deep breath.
I don't know if the battery's going. Because it's so
goes
bright
right
then.
Yeah. See if you can press it again. It goes bright and then it goes.
Spirit are making me very, very aware of a male presence that hasn't left me alone, and since we've got here, I'm not given any names or communication from this male presence. He's just with me, and it's making me, other than other stuff going on, he's making me feel quite irritable. I'm not sure what connection he has to the building. I don't feel as though he has a real connection to the building, it's more to the land, as though he has an association with the area rather than the actual building. But he's making his presence very well known, and I get the impression that he is responsible for a lot of activity here. So we'll see what that produces for the night. I'm quite eager to see what emerges from this. I'm going to have to stop myself from feeling a bit irritable as well. Regarding the building we're in at the moment, I feel as though this building wasn't always part of a residence or like a place where people sleep. I feel this had a connection with horses, as though it was kind of a stable area, and there might have been some residency of people that worked here, but it was a case that they would have to sleep with the horses. This is more of a residual thing, it's not really an active thing now, but it's something to be mindful of in a bit. So stay tuned guys, it should be fun.
I don't know how long it's been since it's been flushed to you before, so. Okay, can you switch it back on again for me? This one's still going, I'm just going to turn it. 36 minutes. Should have more than your thing on it. I'm just going to turn it on. Let's see. Yeah. That was me with the pen. Yeah, switch the lights on.
No, down below.
Where the red light is. Yeah.
Is that a good sign?
Weird because
It's not a sign.
fully charged, wasn't it?
You know, sometimes you find the spirits will drain the batteries.
Is that a good
Well,
sign
yeah.
for them to come through then, if they're draining energy?
Yeah,
you
means
build
the
energy
building
up
to
then,
do
yeah.
something, yeah.
Right. I get like, I don't know whether it's just because it's, you know, like it's late, so even though I feel like I've woken up, but my head starts getting all kind of, like there's pressure building up in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is that just the time of night, do you think?
No.
No.
Not necessarily. You know, sometimes, like, this is why I have the same.
I'm in
what's
trouble
this,
focusing this.
Is you'll get just like a name will just go into your head, and you think, well, am I just thinking that, or is it something has it been put into your head?
This is like there's a hand across the... Where you are, Sarah.
Yeah.
I can't see you at all. There's a big black mass across the lens. Yeah, if I flip it round, just see what I
I
mean.
felt like I was seeing this woman who had a hair, grey white sort of hair in a bun.
Yeah.
She had like an apron on, and she had like a.
I had full vision before.
It wasn't
It's
a long
just
skirt
gone like
down
that.
to her ankles. It was more sort of like mid, sort of between her. Sort of
It's like a big
calf.
semicircle, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's the lens,
That's weird.
but it wasn't doing it.
An
I
apron
picked
round
up
her
because
waist.
whereas Julie was talking, and Julie and then I panned across.
That's it. That's how I sometimes see them.
But it was like a
You
picture
see?
of her, not
Yeah.
like she wasn't speaking or doing
No.
anything. I could
No,
see
I
her
get that,
face.
yeah.
She was such
But it
a-
wasn't doing that.
It's
2 minutes
like-
ago, we've just tried
It was
to
like it was, and I know they got a
focusing
year,
it.
1839, but I don't know. I mean, it could. Sometimes I don't know. It's my vivid imagination
That-
thinking. Oh,
It's that. It is. Do you
Lord.
believe it or not? And that's what. It's having the confidence in yourself.
it's the experience,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's still there.
Yeah. But you can see my fingers through it.
What's going on there? It was like, but that's in that bathroom. Then it's like it was like
I don't know if it's the lens because every time I
like a
move it's still
light.
there.
Not a bright light, like a, but it was like the window light, but it going wide, that sort of colour.